what is a hybrid Awana club?
That is a great question, because I think there could be like a million answers to that question. So I'm going to narrow it down to two. A hybrid club setting could utilize aspects of a socially distanced club as well as a virtual club, or it could be something that's using a virtual club alongside a socially distanced club. So maybe some of your kids are attending virtually because their families are just not quite ready yet to go back to club. But you have some that are ready, so you're doing a socially distanced club at your church. So it really could be almost anything. So let's break it down a little bit. So for like, if you're going to do large group online and small group in person, Katie and Tyler just talked about the different options of being able to watch a large group lesson online. You could tape it yourself. You could record it yourself. You could send them to Awana Plus to watch it there. You could send that link to your parents. You can do a lot of different things with that. The one thing I will ask of you as you're thinking of your teaching time, like Katie said, keep it short and appropriate for the kids. Zoom fatigue is real. We are all feeling the amount of screen time that we are experiencing is just huge. So our kids are feeling that too, and there's a real fatigue that happens. So keeping it short, keeping it engaging, keeping it applicable to them so that they're not bored out of their minds is always a good thing if you're doing a large group online option. Another thing you can do is you could have your clubs broken up. So maybe you have your Cubbies and Sparks coming on a Tuesday night, and then your TNT and Trek and Journey coming on a Wednesday night. Or you could have them, you could rotate in so many different ways. What was the other way I was thinking of? You could have the clubs come on different nights. The other thing you could do is for small group in person, have them watch the video beforehand, and then when they come, you could gather at a park. You could gather on the grass at church, or in the parking lot at church, or in a room together, keeping in mind, again, always the restrictions of your local area. But if they have the content already that they've watched, then you have a chance to interact with them about the large group lesson and about the section that the kids are in. Super, super important. If you want to get to the even better, the good, better, even better. Even better is taking what the kids are learning and helping them understand what it is, helping them get that into their hearts and their minds and their lives. And that's what can happen in that small group time. And I think now we're going to talk about flip-flopping that, if you're going to do small group online and large group in person.
So if you're going to do small group online and large group in person, there's some neat benefits to this. So the large group in person, of course, once again, and here's where you think outside the box. So perhaps you're in a really small church, and the ability to social distance in church is rough, and you don't have the large space. Well, maybe you go to a park. Maybe you go to a school that has a big grass field, and you do your large group time there. You do your games there, and then you do your small group in a more traditional, I say traditional virtual format, but utilizing either some FaceTime, or you go back to the Zoom thing. Yeah, we're not big fans of Zoom. Well, we love Zoom because this is the only way we're able to do this. But when your kids get tired of Zoom, there's still such an important piece in that small group time. I don't think we can lose that. And one of the things I want to say about that small group time, and I've been talking with our churches about this, is, your ministry is poised to go beyond just kids. When we have that opportunity in that small group setting, either virtually or typically virtually, guess who's listening? Those parents are probably going to be in the room. They're probably going to hear the video that you recorded for them, or whatever. So there's a blessing in this, if we utilize it right, to really connect to the parents of these kids, and and invest in those relationships as well. So I think there's some added blessing and opportunities in that to further our ministry beyond just the children's and youth ministry. So the last one I want to talk about, and I think this is probably going to be, if not right away in the start of the year, although some of you may be thinking about this, I think as we start getting safer and as things do start easing, I think the hybrid version that we're going to see a lot of is, hey, some people are going to rush back. Hey, we want to come. We want to do social distancing club. And then there's going to be some that are going to be a little not as excited for whatever reason. Maybe there's an at-risk member of the family. Maybe the child is at risk and they're not going to be able to rush back in. And so I think we have to be cognizant of that and be prepared for that. And that hybrid version of running club in person, but also being willing to do the online portions that you can, and being intentional about that. So, and that's, if we're honest, it's going to be clunky. Let's just be real. That's going to be clunky. It's going to be someone teaching like this in front of their computer while you have your kids sitting down, but yet you're still going to be able to connect to those kids that are at home and can't come. So there's opportunities in that. I would say your small group time, this is a great opportunity in that hybrid model to say, hey, you've got an at-risk leader and you got at-risk kids. Guess what? Boom, you put them together in a small group, and they can have their small group time at exactly the same time you're doing it in person, social distancing. So, and then games, you're gonna have to have 2 game directors. Let's just be honest. You're not gonna probably want to bring your computer and run the kids because they're just gonna be staring at their screen. That's not fun. So you probably want to have someone that's gonna run games for your online kids and a game director that's gonna run it for your kids that are live. And you know, the good, better, best. Good, of course, is doing the virtual games like Tyler talked about. Better, here's a cool idea that I think would be really neat, and I've heard a number of churches are going to try and do this. You know, maybe you can't get together all the time every week, but maybe once a month. Just gather once again at a park where you can just have a great time with the kids. Maybe you don't even do a large group time, but you just get the kids together for that social interaction off of the computer screen. That's a great chance. And that's got some hybrid components built into it from there. So
I'm going to add one thing to what he just said too, that in some area, California, a lot of places you can't drop off the kids in churches. And I know there's probably other areas of the country like that. If you're doing a once a month thing, that's a great opportunity to get those parents involved. So you have a family together, you can have family activities, they can see their friends, but they're going to still be with their family too. And the parents will be a part of that.
Okay,
we tried to shorten it. So we tried to be quick.
No, I think it was great. It was like super efficient and just like barreling down all the things that we needed to hear.